In the realm of sports, tales of courage and resilience often emerge from the most unexpected corners. The story of Hakeem Al Araibi, a Bahraini footballer, is a testament to the power of the human spirit and the enduring fight for justice in an unjust world. His story began in 2011, during the wave of mass protests and uprisings that were gripping the Arab world, the Arab Spring. It was during one of these protests in his native Bahrain when Hakeem actively pursued the fight for democracy and equality in his country. He was deeply moved by the desire for democratic reforms in his homeland. However, his bravery came at a steep price. Bahraini authorities, threatened by his activism, arrested and detained him under the pretext of vandalizing a police station during the protests. The lack of evidence didn't stop them from subjecting him to a tumultuous period of detention and persecution, leaving Hakeem fearing for his life. His detention served as a grim reminder of the oppressive regime's crackdown on dissenting voices during the uprisings. Eventually, they let him out. The exact details surrounding his release, including the conditions under which he was freed, have never been widely publicized. Following his release, Hakeem's ordeal did not end as he continued to face persecution and threats from Bahraini authorities due to his past involvement in pro-democracy protests. In a desperate bid to secure his safety, Hakeem made the courageous decision to flee his homeland in 2014. He sought refuge in Australia, a country known for its commitment to human rights and compassion towards refugees. With the support of the Australian community, he started to rebuild his life and resumed playing football. Hakeem's talent on the pitch caught the attention of the Pascoe Vale Football Club in Melbourne, where he became a cherished member of the team. He embodied the spirit of the game, displaying determination and skill that endeared him to teammates and fans alike. Yet, his past was never far behind. In 2018, he and his wife booked a flight to Thailand for his honeymoon. It was a destination Hakeem had traveled to before with Bahrain's national team. With these plans having been made well in advance and his refugee visa with Australia now confirmed, the footballer believed he was safe to travel. According to Hakeem, he called the immigration helpline a couple of times in the months leading up to the trip to make sure it was safe to visit Thailand. They said it was fine. Little did he know, on November 8, his native Bahrain had issued an Interpol Red Notice against him. An Interpol Red Notice is a request to law enforcement worldwide to locate and provisionally arrest an individual pending extradition, surrender, or similar legal action. It is issued by Interpol based on a valid request from a member country seeking the location and apprehension of a wanted person. Issuing an Interpol Red Notice against Hakeem Al Araibi while he was a refugee was in violation of Interpol's rules. This exposed a significant flaw in Interpol's system. For authoritarian regimes like that in Bahrain, abusing Interpol's system is nothing new. On November 9, 2018, the day after Bahrain issued the Red Notice, Interpol Canberra alerted the Home Affairs Department. But the Australian Home Affairs Department failed to inform Interpol that Hakeem was on a refugee visa, and so his troubles began. On November 27, Hakeem and his wife made their way to the airport, not knowing it was unsafe for him to leave the country. Upon touching down in Thailand, Hakeem was swiftly arrested by Thai authorities at the Suvarnabhumi airport in Bangkok, detained at the behest of Bahrain. He spent the night at the airport detention center, unable to sleep. His wife, too, had been apprehended. Australia soon learned of his plight, but they were doing very little, if anything, to help his case. News of Hakeem's arrest spread like wildfire, sending shockwaves through the football community and sparking an outpouring of support from around the world. Fellow footballers, sports organizations, and human rights activists united under the #SaveHakeem banner, demanding his immediate release and condemning the injustice of his detention. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, Hakeem's plight garnered increasing media attention. Stories of his resilience and advocacy for fellow detainees emerged, revealing a compassionate and courageous man who refused to be silenced in the face of oppression. The case brought attention to the vulnerability of athletes and individuals who speak out against injustice in their home countries. His courage in participating in pro-democracy protests in Bahrain had put him at great risk, and his arrest in Thailand showcased the lengths to which some regimes would go to silence dissenting voices, even outside their borders. The global campaign for Hakeem's freedom intensified. The world watched and waited as the pressure on the authorities to release him mounted. Eventually, the red notice was rescinded, but Hakeem still ended up spending 70 more days locked up in Thailand. In the end, lobbying from human rights groups, the Australian government and various individuals put enough pressure on the Thai government for them to terminate proceedings against him. Finally, after an arduous and tense battle, Hakeem Al Araibi was freed from Thai detention in February 2019. The Thai authorities dropped the extradition proceedings, and he was able to return safely to Australia. Hakeem Al Araibi's fight for freedom became more than just a personal struggle. It evolved into a symbol of hope for persecuted athletes and individuals worldwide. The incident sparked critical conversations about the responsibility of sports organizations to protect athletes who face persecution for their beliefs and actions. In the annals of football history, Hakeem's journey stands as a beacon of courage, a reminder that the love of the game can inspire remarkable acts of bravery and solidarity, both on and off the pitch. As football continues to unite people from different cultures and backgrounds, Hakeem's legacy remains a shining example of the power of sports to foster positive change in the world.